Abusia Anas Aremeyaw Anas ne Kennedy Agyapong a clash ewo US courts ma ene dressing say Anas ni party biam say ana Anas e de ba court ho beyi nanim nti wa wate ni din ewo TV radio so ne kasanframa mu no ni party biam say na ene Anas Aremeyaw wate ni din no ono no da screen so a say ana Anas kirem say nanim etia wayi nanim a kire mpanimfo a Kennedy Agyapong enso ene ne lawyers ana etwahia atenase ewo ene defamation lawsuit Anas Aremeyaw Anas ene ne lawyers file against Kennedy Agyapong ewo US court ayefre no SS Country Superior Court ma ene court ne tenase no oma hye Kennedy Agyapong former MP say ontwia 18 million US dollars enfama Anas Aremeyaw Anas na ohwade a ode apin hu ensem bi ka ho amede ebrew mesrew so oba no subscribe no ahye na abusunya no atumi akoso aye kese na before me di Kennedy ene Anas court proceedings no nsam no ede ebebro no mekanfo vintin consultancy ede amount se ope new visa di etukwan akọ USA UK Canada Europe amanwodo na aka no ope adwumaku betumi age visa ede amount yemfa entro fragadam matrai makwe ye ba beji usika bi ede aye obukata de a eye vintin consultancy pe na mekanfo ede amount se mpanifo se omo je Schengen visa de ama ankronkro adwumaku individual pe Schengen visa ede etukwan na osaka Schengen visa ibia ubetimi de etukwan akọ 29 countries a eye vintin consultancy pe na beji amount na mpanifo se ye je visa ma wi a na watwe osika umpewe opeden visit your social media handles no kom website ubo hu amanfo visits yaji amanfo bebre na ediom ho adanse na so wabeka adansefo no now abusia yamra yensem ne so na yenyina yebeka ya enano da October bosomia na etoso edu ne da na etoso eduonu enwotwe 28 October 2018 na etwam no ana investigative journalist ye freno Anas Aremeyaw Anas edi documentary bia na efa demudie Anas katahyehe dream krono na ekoso ewo Ghana e football mu beto ni din se corruption na Anas ato documentary ni din se betraying the game na eni emfoni ni bi na da screen so ha sa pepepe na ohwe Ghana e football na atete apansa mawie ntontodiem te se amuakon ana edu na chese dream ni katahyehe referees ana egi demudie na eni kwaman mutumi penalty referees enyampa na ni nyinam no sana Anas therefore ye documentary a no kra ni nyankopon na bonsamatiko na eni documentary no eba ye somewhere July 8 2019 mo baabi no na abusia na nsem wom ma kwasi na ntachi ene asrafo ni police fo bi nyina no wohwe full video na abusia na nyasem keto ene wohwe video no so a sabre no kwasi na ntachi no ya GFA president ene wohwe video na okasa papa abusia na nyasem keto a brantie no ni kwasi na ntachi ko hie mpuni mpu ma ene nsem ekoso ma eye nsem na ekoso no kwansi ana Kennedy Agyapong ene ni host ani e friend kwaku anan somewhere 2019 2020 ni mo baby corona time no ana Kennedy Agyapong ede word expose bi e ba eye TV so na 2 ede be kanta cross Anas eye documentary na ode ababonten na no wato ni din eye betraying the game no Kennedy enso ede ne de ba ya no wato ni din who watches the watchman oni kwaku anan ene ebusia bononso mpamu no nwotwe mu sa ne de a na adaji ni pusu ye nyina no ya ye yirede kohwe TV hwe de Kennedy ba beka na ne ebusia enye nsem ketu akora na ekoso wo TV no so ma 2019 2020 ni mo baabi Anas and the lawyers file defamation lawsuit editia Kennedy Agyapong ewo Accra High Court ma court no etwe ne sere ne abasa ye no kobra ebusia na enya asem ketu ma asem no kora kwa wi ase no court no deny justice edema Anas Aremeyaw sad time no judge ana ote asem no so no na ye frɛ no justice Eric Ban ono ana na ete Kennedy ene Anas Aremeyaw Anas ensem no so ma judge no kora no dismiss asem no ensem no minim sɛ ne ana asem no tie but asem no ankowiaga kwansi ana Kennedy Agyapong eko US ekotena TV show bi ane ato ni din Daddy Fred show na omu streaming ewo Facebook ma I think said the announcer newspaper oko Facebook omu na streaming sa Daddy Fred show no enano da September bosomi na etoso enkrone da na etoso enson 7 September 2021 ana Kennedy Agyapong eko sa show ni so eko make wide allegations efa broadcast journalist your friend Anas Aremeyaw Anas Anas say oye criminal osan kromfo demudini ya chese Anas emfa no kure enye na dwuma masam no Anas eti asam no one ne lawyers file defamation lawsuit editia Kennedy Agyapong US because sa show no na US ana sa bre no sa time no so no na Kennedy ene Anas no omienu no mu US into ho Anas ene ne lawyers file defamation lawsuit ede etia Kennedy Agyapong masam no 2021 o ano matwe ho da gure kobra ma eja ebo eja enya ba bedu menede ya march bosmia etoso miensa ne da etoso edu enkro 19th March 2025 ya ewomu yi ana US court aye from XX country superior courts eno United States of America eno matra asem no so se ne da o screen so no na omotra asem no so ne yefre afanu mienu asem no na judge otena edwam kire se yes mo ha on say yo masamba defamation lawsuit you ene ma ba mo ntena se na me so me wo me final judgment ene me ne me court no ye be pass etia mumu baako na ene court no etena se no ana panimpa otena asem no so ana judge pani a otena asem no so no kire Kennedy ohene Agyapong say ontwia 80 million US dollars former investigative journalist your friend Anas Aremeyaw Anas na enu achi no ensemi wo ho a yesan ede ebrona ni nyina mu no na Kevin Ekobedu Taylor ene central fo so wo ho a yenya musie nkotia manebo ni bi emra
Anas initially damages are not pay around $30 million and our client and Anas Kasa say a woman saw $30 million and yes he na all pay. In fact he wants his name to be cleared and then any priority of going to court.
Yes.
But because of the experience now unim sibi anyo matie no ono client here Anas Kasa and say it would be better and to be reasonable to at least settle on $80 million. And okay, say okra no client Anas no, you did not really agree, but because he respects you as his counsel and as a lawyer, no, you people ended up around that money, around that figure, which is $80 million.
Oh yeah, like I said, your lawyer at a Wemega, New York.
Oh, yeah.
And also come home. Andrew D here.
Yeah, you are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Wemega is there.
Yes.
D here is there. Crow is there. Yourself. Basically, as we are speaking to, we are speaking to all of them because.
Yes. So the whole team agreed on that, but he was the only reluctant one in settling the matter. But procedurally, we couldn't go to trial without actually going through to the settlement conference.
Yes.
In spite of his reservations, we still almost cut our demand down to about a little over half.
Okay.
But to our surprise, $10,000 to end the case.
No.
You know, I want an arbitrator who said no, some way I'm sure so I can papers, So he said basically go and take your gamble in the courtroom. So that's how we ended up going to trial. So like to go back to how it ended, so at about 4:50 on Thursday. And the jury brought us in and they told us what unanimously what they had arrived at. But we decided to keep it under wraps because there was a component you multiply 18 million by 5 money do 90 million for a total of about
that was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah, because
to do that. Okay.
Yes. And then you decided to say back to your bull with coming public with the finding of culpability on Thursday.
Yeah.
We ended up leaving that alone. A pursuit of ×5 because almost all emotions be I just say or say to a boss na in terms of that and sana say one way or another I could pursue that ×5 and I say depending on what happens, maybe I bit me German cafe. At this time, almost my court no say almost busa into so.
Okay. So at this point, Oma Makote who say ombeba 80 million or omo pentiswo. How many days do they have to file that?
Okay. So at this point, no, the next thing that's going to happen is that there's going to be a paper, a judgment. I just say court reading seal better so.
Yeah.
That will take a few days, and then after that, I believe there's a 5-day rule that's within which you can file that motion. So a bay motion, matese bin mukasa appeal by nya appeal nyendi. Depending on how that motion goes, no,
okay,
we will get a chance. We may get a chance to attempt to get our ×5 of that 18 million, or a big jam and a. So depending on how that motion goes, no.
So for now,
yes.
18, no, Obintiminka said that is the end of the case. It depends.
No, it's not because hypothetically, so much to grab back 10, we still have the opportunity to go for ×5.
That is 50. Okay.
Yeah, and to call extra 50 plus. Yeah, hypothetically, so much to back 10, we can go for another ×5.
You as a Ghanaian and also a lawyer and defending a fellow lawyer who is a journalist. This has been an experience. Do you want to share something with us when it comes to these kind of defamations and how comparing our judicial system back home and in the States? I'm not forcing you to condemn any, but I'm trying to find out from you. There are so many people in Ghana, they don't really understand how the American judiciary works because we are so used to the Ghana style of judiciary whereby things go a certain way. And I would say sometimes very, very slow. And sometimes you need to know something for even things to move the pace you want. In terms of how this case, how fluid it went, and comparing it to back home. I'm saying back home because I am more concerned back home, and especially when Kennedy presented a case at we knew fear, which is the same defamation case, and he tried to use that as a basis that what he did was right. From your experience as a professional, what have you I don't want to say what have you learned. What have you do you want to share something with us before you go?
Oh yeah. Me perceive me share all the young people in Ghana. Me show them crying say yeah. Now the country is a young country, so I tend not to criticize too strongly. But Oman and young people need to take their rightful position in the country because you know, my only thing is that young people see that is wrong or they know it's wrong, they need to stand up for their rights. The country is still young, so I would not be pointing any fingers at anybody. But we do my American. I'm cool school from high school. I lawyer, and you know I know America very well. And for the past 7 years, I was licensed in Ghana in 2014, and I've been practicing actively for the last 7 years in Ghana. See, I know the problems that we face. I wouldn't. I think it's a systemic problem that allows people to hide in there to sort of engage in certain conduct because democrats, you know, say the system, justice system, if it does not guarantee justice, and then one day, you know, there's going to be a problem. And you know, Omano, I like to direct my comments to all young politicians, those who have entered the fray, you know, about 40 and less, you know. Let's not, if we see things that are not right, let's not say because you benefited from it because your party we want to say party we you know, we're going to condone it. We all need to make sure that we are contributing to building a Ghana that we can all live in. And you know, I would like to end on that. The system is not perfect. There are many things that we can do to also improve it. I will not talk about the substance of some of the things, but I also think the judiciary in Ghana is burdened with a lot of work. there are certain things that exist here in the US that they don't have that perhaps need to be implemented. Some of these judges in this country, in the US, are ably assisted by law clerks who help them lessen their burden. But like I said, the young people in Ghana, we need to look at ourselves, because I've had judges tell me, say, I've suggested that, and I've had judges tell me, say, oh no, if a young person cry, but every office on your who want to say, leaky judgment at before the judgment is granted. So I will not be pointing fingers at, what happened in Ghana was a travesty of justice. I'll say that without mincing words.
The defamation, now Kennedy Winnie.
Absolutely, because I'm now a solid, which back to the member can say, before a court can pronounce someone as a criminal, no, there ought to be a due process ought to be followed. And I have a publication that that's going to come out on this subject in a very near future. For the courts to have called my client a criminal without giving him a criminal trial was a travesty of justice. And the court in New Jersey rightfully classified that as obiter is dicta. It can never be a criminal conviction.
So that
because
was,
one of the things
that was how the court in New Jersey, the Superior Court in New Jersey, actually addressed that particular.
Yes, because the will be criminal. The will be criminal. You can bring proof to say the person has been adjudged to be a criminal. Yeah, and just to clarify, any response so and can for times 5 for no.
Yeah.
The assembly attitude just say yeah no person much. Now, for the sake of transparency, no be in that time now. Or yes, we be yano na almost them there judging better so. The almost them when you dance why be jina sa 18 na yeah decided say we have some decisions to make. What I say you become na kwa appeal, but the thing is appeal no, the difficulty is appeal no US no. Answer no be appeal no, he needs to put the full $18 million down in a bond. Answer no with me appeal no. And we I'm sure say
Abusiana amaniboni bi eno no ma after say court ne pass judgment no investigative journalist your friend Anas Aremeyaw Anas and so aba be kasa the press release any videos aba church court no mu nsem niam e court so court wo ma Anas abechirem say
today I stand before you not just as a journalist but as a witness to history, a child of Ghana's turbulent past, and a soldier in the fight for truth. Yesterday in the Essex County Superior Court of New Jersey, an 8-member jury delivered a unanimous verdict holding Kennedy Agyapong, former Ghanaian MP, liable for defamation and awarding damages of $18 million. The ruling is more than a legal victory. It is a profound affirmation that truth matters, that justice is not a privilege of the powerful, and that the arc of history does indeed bend towards righteousness. My story begins long before this moment. I was born at the 37 Military Barracks in Accra, the son of the soldier who served in an era where power belonged to those who wielded the gun. I grew up watching my nation transition from military rule to democracy, witnessing firsthand the struggle of ordinary Ghanaians yearning for justice, transparency, and accountability. When Ghana finally embraced democracy, I knew that safeguarding it required more than just laws. It needed the unyielding courage of those willing to hold power accountable. That is why I chose journalism, not as a career, but as a calling. Over the years, my team and I have exposed corruption at the highest levels, from the corridors of politics to the halls of justice. But in fighting the corrupt, one becomes a target. Mr. Agyapong, in a desperate bid to silence me, labeled me a land grabber, an extortionist, a murderer, a tax evader, and a blackmailer who ought to be hanged. These were not just lies. They were calculated attempts to destroy my credibility and put my life in danger. While Ghana's legal system failed to deliver justice in 2018, the US court upheld truth. This case was not easy. Proving defamation in the United States requires establishing actual malice by a clear and convincing evidence standard, one of the highest legal thresholds in the world. That the jury ruled 8-0 in my favor on every count is a testament to the fact that Mr. Agyapong acted with reckless disregard. Regrettably, Ghana's justice system has not always lived up to the principles of fairness and impartiality. When I sued Mr. Agyapong in 2018, despite his inability to legally substantiate his allegations, the court ruled against me, with Justice Barr scandalously branding me a terrorist instead of adjudicating the facts before him. This miscarriage of justice was later condemned by Supreme Court Justice Kolende, who rightly described it as a violent abuse of judicial authority. My fight has never been for personal gain, but for the soul of Ghana's democracy. This victory in the US sends a powerful message. The media cannot be silenced, truth cannot be buried, and those who wield power must be held accountable. Let this moment be a wake-up call to all who seek to erode the foundations of justice in Ghana. Let it remind us that democracy is not just about elections, but institutions that uphold the truth, courts that deliver justice without fear or favor, and citizens who refuse to accept corruption as the norm. To my legal team, Andrew Dehere Esquire, Arthur Womega Esquire, Evans Salasi Adeka Esquire, and Odei Crow Esquire, I am forever grateful for your dedication to justice. And to my supporters in Ghana and around the world, your unwavering belief in the fight strengthens my resolve. The battle against corruption continues. We will name, shame, and jail. Ghana deserves better, and I will never stop fighting for a future where justice is not a privilege of the powerful, but the right of every citizen.
Abusiana ensem ni bi eno no me na meka say die Kennedy ohene Agyapong na so ayehye papa minim sa 18 million US dollar kwasi broni sika no baby o konya firi mon comment na mon breaking it down ma me say 18 million US dollars no o de baga na sika mu a eya he na ye bekoso ade ye ne adi nsem na chi de beto fom bia ba de be mahwefo ene atiefo nso enya feelings o mesel se oba no subscribe no share na ebusia no etimi akwaso ayekese na before mekra mo ame yakọ mekanfo Charistic Company Limited inra e friend no zamisha zaade capsules with the amount say ebe infection bacteria si abedi ni pedua na kanten so oba ya na edu mfichi kwachi awoti pains e wo asifidua no bro no so obi atumete wonka say wakọ mfichi koma akwaji impanifo ndro bi infertility or prostate problems ya de bone wampa no akira kwan ampa no aduru amfa nka na ebe ha odachi yi pa akwaji impanifo ndro bi na omuzaman capsules no ye memedru ye be ma afo aso frem me say zaman capsules no memo agya so benane say ebe sisi ya de sexual weakness low sperm count ya de ababeja so eno nam so do yero komutwu akanchima kompamzizie na nwasane agufuma zaman capsules no be ye unhu adwuma na enro FDA ahwuma de atum say ye open do atu a ukọ pharmacy herbal stores bi e benwa unsa ebe company fundo bi e frem dan Kwesi Prince Macra.